In this video, I'm going to be showing off my Hollyoak dress by Cashmerette. So if that interests you, stay tuned.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky.
Welcome back, my name's Claire and this is my channel Penguin and Pear Dressmaking. So you may or may not know that I am part of the Minerva Makes. So that just means every month Minerva Crafts will send out an email with lots of fabrics and you choose the fabric that you want. And I chose this fabric that I'm wearing now. So I knew pretty much straight away that I wanted to make the Hollyoak dress. Like the Sadie jumpsuit, I also picked up the Cashmerette Hollyoak as soon as I saw it. It's really rare for me to do that. For two patterns in a row, I did that. And I figured that I would use it for the Minerva Makes. I've done a blog post for Minerva which goes through my process from choosing my fabric through to the finished make. So I'm not going to be going through the construction of the outfit as such because Minerva do own the rights to my blog post for that and I don't want to jump on any toes. However, I couldn't resist showing you this. And the blog post is going to be available, I think it's the 16th of September. So once that has been released, I'll put it down in the description box. So if you're watching this video a bit later on, do check that out. But if you're doing it in present day, it's the 1st of July today, so it's not available yet. It's going to be a little while away for that. So the fabric is, obviously, it's from Minerva, and I'll put a link down below if I can find the link for it, if it's gone live yet. It's a viscose, polyester viscose, I think. It's very, very drapey. By the way, this is probably the first and only time you're going to see a vlog with my arms out. I am not a huge fan of my arms, but I do want to show off this top to the best of its ability. Top dress to the best of its ability. So as I say, I decided to make up the Hollyoak dress, but I wanted to do a twirl first. And I can focus a little bit more on the twirl here because Minerva will not show pictures of other fabrics, so I can show you those here. Let me just go and get my twirl fabric. I have my twirl here. I'm just going to do up the top button. So this is my twirl and the fabric's actually really lovely. This is another one from my shop. You may recognise this because Anna from You Got Me in Stitches has worn this. I'd gifted her some of this fabric. So I made it up here. I will insert a picture of me wearing it. So I whizzed through the instructions and I didn't follow the Cashmerette instructions at all because I've made a dress very similar to this before, and that is the Jessica dress by Mimi G. And so I thought I knew what I was doing. The construction's completely different. I'm not going to go into details. You'll have to wait for the blog post for that. But it was very different. So I was kind of bodging it for the twirl because I wanted to make it a wearable twirl, but it's not really wearable in the end. I might try and bodge it so that it is, but as it stands, it's not. So I made the bodice and the skirt, the whole thing up, and these were the changes I needed to make. So I needed to take some out of the princess seam there, and I also needed to take some out of the centre front because it was gaping massively there. So I made the changes to the pattern pieces and I'll insert a picture here of those changes that I made. So I made them and then I had to dive in with this fabric. Now I had to go really quickly because I was running massively late with this. She puts a month deadline on this and I was already like over a week after the deadline. I had a lot of stuff going on. I was dealing with some stuff with my mental health, and so it took a bit of a back seat. But once I got round to it, I was trying to get it done quite quickly because I hate being late for things or missing deadlines, etc. So I had to dive in and not make another twirl. Oh, another alteration I made, which I actually forgot to mention in the blog post, was the skirt piece. Now, when I made this version up, the skirt at the back was hot. I mean, the hem was higher than the hem at the front. Now, that's probably because my bum was poking out a bit. So I decided I needed a bum adjustment, a full bum adjustment, would you call it? It was really, really hard to find anything online that shows you how to do it. I went through my books that I've got, and I've got that Fit for Real People. I couldn't see anything in there about how to do it. From the side seam, it starts at nothing, and then from the centre fold seam, you add in an inch, so it goes in a triangle, and that's because you want the extra in the centre of the piece where your bum is, but not at the edges, because you don't want one of the seam lines to be longer than the other, so it needs to be the same. My bra keeps falling down, excuse me. You see that sunburn I've got there? I never ever burn, and on Saturday my husband's brother came over to the island and we spent the day out in the sun, and I don't even get out in the sun that often, and that is the result, and it's still sore. And we're on, what day are we on now? No, it's Monday today, so it's still stinging from, it was actually Friday he come over, and I've got to go and get some aloe vera gel today for that, because that is really stinging. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. Yeah, so I add in an inch into the bum area to give me that extra length, and it would then make the hem flat at the back and flat at the front, well, the same all the way round. And then at the end, because I wanted to finish this toile quickly, I just added cam snaps on. You might see it better on this one. And I just chose the closest colour to what I had. They're actually blue, but you know, it worked quite well. So that was my toile, and then I got on and made the actual one in this. Now I have to say this one has fitted me a lot better. I left a question in my community tab asking people if they had any questions for the Hollyoak, and someone asked, sorry I can't remember who it was, but they asked, do the straps really cover the bra? They do, as long as your bra stays up. I mean, look, there's my bra strap, and the actual strap is much wider. Yeah, it does. My facing keeps slipping out. I need to tack that down. But this is a much better fit. You can't really see it here, so I'm going to insert some pictures here that I took after I'd finished making it. I have a tiny bit of gaping here. So when I was compiling this dress, when it came to creating the placket, it turned out that I had about an inch more on one side up here than this side, so I had to literally ease them in so that they met at the right spot, which I think I have achieved, as you can see there. But if you look side on, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of like a gaping there. I like the fit, it is nice and snug. There's quite a bit of hand stitching on this. You don't have to do the hand stitching, but I chose to. So, I will say, because this isn't a proper review, I'm not going to go into all the details, but I will say that the cashmerette instructions left me completely confused. Now, part of them is that you've got the back here, you've got the front here, and then you've got the straps, and it's laid flat to attach that with the facings, and then you attach the side seams afterwards. Now I got confused, so I attached it all as it told me, then I understitched it, graded the seams, put it on, and I'd put the left on that side and the right on that side, or the other way around, but I'd put these two sides on back to front, and then I had to painstakingly take the straps off without ruining the fabric, and I didn't have enough fabric to make another dress or even another bodice, and I was 2 weeks past deadline at this point, so it was hit and miss, and I wasn't in a good place at that point either. So I just walked away from it for a bit, and that is a really good tip, that if a garment construction is stressing you out, walk away from it. It's not worth it. So I had an hour away from it, and then I realised, because initially I was thinking that I had to take the whole thing apart. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. And then I realised while I was having my time out that I just needed to unattach the straps. So I unattached the straps, redid it and got it wrong again, didn't I? I think it took me 3 attempts to finally get it right. But eventually I did, and all's well that ends well, because it did work out. So when I was making the facing piece, I decided to decorate the edges with some satin bias binding that I have. This is one of the pieces that didn't work out so well. And I was in such a rush that I thought, should I just leave it? It's on the inside, no one's going to see it. But I decided not to go down that road. I took the time to remake it, and I'm glad I did, because it looks much, much better on the inside now. Oh, also, because I'd altered the bodice, yeah, I had to alter the facing as well. And I was bodging it. I really wasn't sure what I was doing, to be honest. But it worked out perfectly. So, you know, again, all's well that ends well. The hem, I just turned under and hand stitched it. So as I say, this isn't a proper review. It is just designed to highlight my dress, because I know so many of you were asking when that is going to be up. And perhaps at a later date I will do a proper review if I make the Hollyoak in another fabric, which I'm quite open to doing actually, because it is a really nice design. It's just quite a full-on process, because it takes time. It is not one of those quick whiz it up in an hour makes. You are going to be making this for some time, but I've got the fit how I want it now. So that's that. If you have any questions about the Hollyoak dress, do leave them below. I'll be only too happy to help you out if I can. I need to get out in the sunshine now, so I'm going to leave it here. So if you like this video and content that I offer you, do consider subscribing. That really helps me out, because it tells YouTube that you like my content, and YouTube likes any type of engagement. So do leave a comment, even if it's just a love heart. Do leave a like and hit the notification bell, and you will be told when my next video is released. So that's all I've got for today. I really appreciate you coming by and watching my content. If you fancy watching some more of my content, do check this video out. And until next time, happy sewing. Bye for now.